Good evening, Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer fans! We are in the building tonight with a wonderful, fantastic race of the Spring Tournament 2019. I am your host, Kiyo Katsuki, along with me, DM Stewart 1981 and Mr. Versetti on our tracker. Thank you everyone for showing up. We are here, we are ready, we are live. We are here with your standard incentivized locations with the Ice Cave, the Marsh Cave, and ordeals in the pool today. Again, Marsh Cave is always nasty. That's why the old meme is, we don't go to Marsh Cave. It's like Raven. I don't know about that. Some people say that's the truth. Some people say that's false. Other people say that we have other things to worry about, like our flag set. Maybe that we need to find 12 incentive items to get a bonus to our EXP gain. We have a standard 2x. We get a bonus when we get 12. And we're going to have everything in the pool. All of our quest NPCs. All of everything to find. All of everything in our pool. And we have 2 loose items with slightly different parties from both of our runners. We have our 2 fighters on the side of WAB. We have a fighter, thief, red mage, white mage on the side of Wote. We have the similar composition, and the thing is, with the red mage being the captain, and the black mage walking the plank, we're not going to get access to some of that late black magic, but we could get access to some of that late white magic. With me is DM Stewart. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. This could be a real interesting. This could be real interesting with no black mage.
Again, like the thing I always worry about with these seeds is, are we going to find both fast and temper at level 7, level 8? At that point, it locks out a lot of black mage spells. Because the red mage just doesn't learn it at that point. Like, you get into the 7 to 8, you're like, well, I've got a red mage. I just, you know, if you run, great. But if you don't, it's like, for the most part, it's like, oh, well, it's really high to get levels to get even casts for it. I mean, level 8 is, you have to be 25 before you learn it. The interesting thing that I see here is both players are actually running a full party comp. We've actually seen some of the other runners switch to a none comp. And that's something I love to see at this point.
Well, we could still see one. We could still see a Dan. So,
well, if we're going to see a Dan, I expect it from Wote's side. Not really from WAB side. WAB side is a very safe comp. It's one of those where you're going in there thinking that, hey, maybe I don't find that great of black magic. Hey, maybe I don't find that great of white magic, as we're about to go in.
Well, from WAB's side, also maybe you find a couple of good swords too.
Well, the
Nuke level 1.
We have Nuke level 1, which means that I would immediately re-roll that white mage out, personally, as a runner.
Well, see, I might re-roll that thief out and make it 2 red mages. Because you give me Temple of Fiends, you give me a Topher with 18 charges of nuke, and watch the magic happen.
You know what is better than 18 charges of nuke? 27 of them. And I would be just rolling straight fighter, 3 red mage at this point. You get all of the nuke charges, and that's really all you need for the early game, the mid game, and maybe even the late.
You know, I can see that. I just don't like giving up. I just don't like completely giving up the possibility of a life 2.
Well, you know, a lot of people think that life 2 is more important. I am from the school of, a lot of people have told me in the past, you play too defensive. You think about what could bad happen to you. Instead of saying, I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to murder everything.
Not to talk over your... We've got imps with sleep.
Sleep is annoying, but it only lasts 1 turn. That's the thing to note about sleep. It's going to get spammed through all of them, and they're probably going to get their next kill or spell off. But it's only dangerous if the imps know something that's actually going to deal. Other than that,
that's
I really
a valid
didn't
point.
see much from Corneria. But I do like Wote's approach. Wote is playing the safe approach, which is essentially I went out, I go grab a level or two, I'm going to go back, I'm going to grab anything that I think I missed from Corneria, and then I'm going to go check Temple of Fiends. Wab is making the more aggressive approach.
Well, and when you're playing a runner as good as Wote, you got to play a little aggressive. And we've got a katana. We've got a katana and Topher. So maybe not re-rolling out that thief is going to end up being a good play.
Well, if you're going to see a reroll in these games, Stuart, you'll typically see it on the point of they run into first level magic. As we already have Garland killed from Wab, and we get a ship from the king and a slab from the princess. So katana is early money, to be completely frank, in a lot of these seeds. The early money is more important than anything, especially since you can find a second one. And even then, you can always use a Vorpal on the thief if you still want that crit item for a thief.
And it looks like Wab is going to head over and find down is replacing Provoca.
Indeed,
and it is
indeed.
Melmond.
So we got Melmond and Provoca, which is interesting because it opens up a nice grind if Wab wanted to take it, and I probably would have taken it myself, because what you can do is with the Zozo Melmond flag is there is an in Zozo Melmond, and you can take nothing but free spaces. So you can take every single fight in there, you can get an idea of how much undead, what they may potentially have, and you could technically figure out, hey, I can get a couple levels here before I make another play in the game.
Oh, one that I think both of us didn't notice, and I just noticed on Wote's side. And Wote didn't take any of the chests in Topher, or Temple of Fiends, by the way. One thing I just noticed on Wote's side, though, in that Garland fight, Zap is also at level 1.
Okay, well, he wanted to roll the dice instead of actually getting the sure kill, so that's on him.
We've got Crescent Lake in Elfland, and it's got Bane at level 6, and I didn't notice the other.
I noticed both Bane and Fire 3, which are the important spells for your Red Mage at this level. The first spell list on the level 5 is learnable before you get the tail. The second one is learnable after you turn in the tail. So those are the only two to know.
Speaking of the tail, the confused old men in Crescent Lake have the tail.
That is for level 5, though. For level 6, though, it is, I believe, just the first slot once you get the turn-in for the Red Wizard. So none of them are learnable currently for Black Magic, but they could potentially learn Bane for both Carrie and Tiamat and some other things.
And Kraken 1.
You did say Kraken 1. That's what I meant, not Carrie. Excuse me on that one.
Well, I always remember that because it's one of my favorite kills. And Melmond is Lefane.
The Poison Smoke is great. I am a different person when it comes to the instant death spells. They're great when they work, and otherwise they don't do anything to that cast. So.
And Matoya's Cave has a Pure Potion, a Heal Potion, and some money. And Wab is going to check out Crescent Lake, or the original Crescent Lake, which is Provoca.
That is a fantastic find here. You found your other loose incentive item from requested NPCs, and you have Nuke to clear out these pirates. This is a fantastic, is a great play. You had a 1 in 4 chance of finding either Provoca in here at Crescent Lake or at Onrak. And both of those are not airship locked, which means that you had a 50% chance to find another key item. I love this play.
Yeah, it's a great play. And let's see what that item is. It's the Chime.
Fantastic. Which means with open progression at this point, we have access to the Mirage Tower, which is a total of 18 chests that you could potentially check right off the bat. at level 4, no less. With level 1 nuke, this is definitely the play that I may make, personally. Because I could go in there if I had a cheap house someplace, or a couple cheap cabins, I could run toward there, get a couple casts off, get a ton of levels, and just go away with none the wiser.
We've got Cure 4 in at level 2.
Oh, wow.
That's Red Mage learnable.
The only
And
thing...
by the way, bad expensive.
What?
And we've got Ice 3 and Quad X at level 2 in Black Magic. Houses are expensive. They're 3,800.
Oof. That sucks. At least we know that Pro Rings are in Crescent Lake's town. For, I believe that was about 6,000. But the good news is with Cure 4 at level 2, that means those are both night learnable once you get the promotion done. And so that means that you had potentially walking around with, I think, at this point, about 30 charges of Cure 4. That is a huge find for defensive purposes.
Yes, and Quad X and Ice 3 being at level 2 is... Ice 3 is a nice find at level 2 as well.
Ice 3 has the best overall base damage in the game outside of like nuke and fade and stuff like that against enemies. So it is really good to find. The big thing is everything that is 1 to 4 is both Red Mage learnable and Ninja learnable once you actually get the spell slots for it. So that's huge to find a great base damage clear spell at that low of a level.
And Wab is looking to... Wab, it looks like, is looking for EXPs.
I love this play by Wab. I do love this play. If you know your encounter table, check for EXPs. They are a excellent early game grind. You have the tools to deal with them. You have your early nuke. You have your early ice. Those are both potential great grinds for you. And it could...
Just a note on Wote's side, we find Blizzard Sharks.
Well, you know what? I'm happy that Blizzard Sharks are there, because even if it is sailing the high sea tier for a long time, the only other place that you're going to run into them is potentially with Gur Sharks in the Sea Shrine. So,
and EXPs have stone poison.
Well, the EXPs are not EXPs today, then.
That may not be a very good grind.
That is an abandoned ship immediately from my end. The moment that EXPs have something other than they may want to smack your knights for some decent damage is something that I say, let's get out. The only thing that I would say is if they have something like a Scorch, you can probably get through it.
And the crystal in the Lefane item, as the Lefane item.
Wow.
So I'm going to expect. I'm going to expect to see. I'm going to expect to see Wote go straight over and check Matoya.
This could be a huge time save here from Wote. The big time saves that I can see from this particular play is you can find the canoe, which will give you access to both Ice Cave and the volcano. You can find the floater, which gives you accesses to most of the world at this point. The main difference is you can't check on-rack location, except when you're going in through the boat. But you have all the other towns. You have Corneria, you have Ice Cave, you have Volcano. The other thing that it could be is it could be a ribbon, which would be super useful if you want to go check like a Marsh Cave, or it could be the Rod, which gives you full access to potentially the entire Earth Cave at this point.
And it is Oxyale.
The Oxyale. Very, very interesting.
Oh, Grey Imps with Squint. We're seeing a lot of nasty skills early, and it looks like Wab is making Marsh Cave play.
That definitely seems to be the case here. from Wote's side, you do have the Oxyel at this point. I mean, that puts the Sea Shrine on the table when you find the Onrax.
But you only have one other town you can check, and it's Vanilla Onrak.
And that's a slim play at that point. You're rolling a 1 and 3. I would not make that play if I was me, because numbers.
Yeah. The numbers don't. The statistics don't seem to make it a good play. I think I do the Marsh Cave dive if I'm at this point, and that's looks like what Wote's doing. Opal Gauntlets. Opal Gauntlet's always a nice thing to find. That floater. I'm really looking for that floater at this point. Opal Gauntlet. Wab nopes out.
You know, if I'm Wab, if you can make a beeline for that incentive chest, that's what I recommend for every new runner in this game. Why? Because you can check all the chests in Marsh Cave. You can. But there are 15 unique items in this Marsh Cave. There are 15 unique enemies, which means by odds, you're going to run into something that's going to murder. So you typically want to just try and rush for that particular chest. If it ends up being in Marsh Cave, you lose the Marsh Cave. But if you're looking to beat a better class runner than you think you are, I would say hit that incentive chest and just move on.
Yeah, the odds favor that. It's the mathematically better play.
And for those of you who are actually wondering about the actual math on this matter, Marsh Cave Upper Path has 4 loose. Marsh Cave Bottom Chest has 6 non-key lock chests, 3 key lock chests. Some of them are linked. But if we're comparing it to something like an Earth Cave, the first 2 floors have 11 chests. If we're comparing it to a potential Mirage Tower, you have 18 chests for Wab, who has access to it right now. And if you have like a canoe, then you have access to something like a Guru Volcano, which has a potential of 33 chests, so mathematically.
Yeah, the math just supports going other places. And as Kyodishan in chat points out, at least if you don't want to double dip, you never want to double dip Marsh Cave.
I have opinion on Marsh Cave, and it's only worth diving if you have to. Because I am full of memes on this matter.
I have opinions on Marsh suitable for polite company.
And how about that?
And Trance and Gargoyles. That is not good. I missed what was in that incentive chest.
It's Floater.
Oh, yes.
It is Floater, and we have open progression. Both in open and extended open progression, you have docks in places. And for Wab, that means you don't need the canoe to get your airship. That is massive. If I was Wab, I would take that floater and just get it the heck out of here.
Yes, I would be noping my way straight out of Marsh Cave and going and getting in my ship and going directly to Ryukon Desert and go, not collecting $200.
Darn straight, because the rule of thumb in Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer, the more time that you're not in the air, the more time you're wasting. And that's not to be mean to anybody. That's just the truth.
Although I don't mind this play that I'm seeing from Wab and Wote of checking some of these chests on this level, just to not have to come back here.
Do you know what I do like from Wab? Wab checked the one chest in bottom level marsh that nobody checks. Like, you don't check that chest. Why? Because it's so far out of the way that if there's something so crucial in there, you are miles ahead of your opponent, who is probably better than you. And he finds the Ice Sword.
Yeah, Ice Sword is pretty good. It's not a sword I would trust for endgame, but it's a sword I'd trust to get me almost to endgame.
You know what? I have my rule about the big five. And anybody asks me, it's like, Q, what's your big five? Your big five for a fighter, not the ninja, are the Masamune, the Excalibur, the Vorpal, the Sun Sword, the Defense Sword, followed by, in 6th place, honorable mention, the Ice Sword. In that order, always in that order. And it's because the base numbers versus the crits. The base numbers on all the other swords outside of against things like Chaos or Kraken or Tia 2, Kraken 2, Tia 2, the Excalibur is fantastic against everything outside of Chaos because it automatically hits against weakness. This is assuming with the tail. The Vorpal is a fantastic sword as well. With 60% crit rate and 24 base damage, it is great against a lot of enemies in the game. But it's what I call a boss slayer. It is very, very, very good at killing high absorb enemies. Not so good against high evasion. But
see, I have never
finding the Ice Sword there is good enough. That is number 6, and it's the honorable mention for a reason. Because if you have the Power Gauntlet or a Temper and Fast easily available, I have seen runners clear seeds in less than an hour and 30 minutes with nothing but the Ice Sword as their endgame weaponry.
Oh, Shark also has Cremate. Cremate and Blizzard on the Sharks. As Cleveland Brown would say, just nasty.
Nasty. I'm pretty sure he'd also say, oh no, oh no, oh no, as he slips from his balcony.
And Wab has his airship.
Well, we do find
and
the
Gaia
the
is
location
on rack.
for Gaia. And the thing is, we know that Wote has found the Oxyel from the slab tournament. So that is actually pretty good for him. Which,
we also know both runners have the tail, and I'm a little surprised that the runners did not go straight to the Zardia Islands, and adamant in Sarda's Cave, by the way, that they did not go straight to the Zardia Islands in class change.
I would definitely always agree with the class changing early, because again, you get your spell slots immediately. You'll have to wait until at least, I believe, 16. You unlock the spell slot at 15. I've had issues before where the spell slot does not unlock until 16.
And here is Wab. Here is Wab. Cardia Islands.
I love that play. You have a total of, I believe, 18 chests in the Cardia Islands. There are 5 in both the grassy and the swamp entrances, and there's a total of another 8 in the forest entrance. So if you're going for straight chest density in the Cardia Islands, you always want to start forest just for people playing.
And Wab gets his class change.
Which is great, because we already found some useful tech at other levels.
And Wab also has his katana, but of course he doesn't have a ninja.
Yeah, that's less useful. I mean, it's useful for Wote. The main problem that I have with ninjas in these seeds is because of the way you have 2x EXP. You don't get the bonus until 12 items, which means that your party still tends to enter Topher if you run a 4-man group at the low 20s. At that point, a ninja does not have the raw HP to survive a nuke, and well known to not survive a nuke, but sometimes does not have enough to even survive a nuclear. Wab finds his second katana, which is nice. I think that Wote will probably end up finding that one and not the one in Topher, just so people know.
And a pro ring, flame shield.
Flame shield is best in slot for ninjas. It's basically what I recommend people. If you're looking for endgame ninja equipment, you're looking at endgame fighter equipment. So fighters can equip both the steel armor, the flame armor, and the ice armor. And you typically want to, if you have the opportunity, you want to mix and match. So if you have a flame armor, you want an ice shield. If you have an ice armor, you want a flame shield. So finding both of those, great. It is fantastic for Wote. It's fantastic for Wab. Both of these party comps benefit from these.
And it looks like Wab is heading for Melmond. He's going to get, Melmond Provoca. He is going to get that slab turn in. And then he's going to get his crystal from Lefane and the Oxy Ale from Matoya. Was heading towards Vanilla Lefane, which is going to be either Gaia or Elfland.
Again, since we're missing the canoe at this point, we still do not have actually access to the waterfall. The other thing that we do not have access to is the Ordeal's castle. The canoe is a required item to complete all the seeds. It's actually one of the 7 items that I would consider in about 99% of the seeds to complete. You need your chime, you need your cube, you need your rod, your key, your loot.
Okay, level 5 exit, level 5 Exfer on white.
Level 5. Well, that is actually good news.
And level 5 Warp and Fire 2 in black.
Warp and Fire 2,
and
which ones are they on? Slots?
He had the Red Wizard learning it, so I think it was 2 and 3.
Okay, so 3 is beyond the capabilities of our Red Wizard. The thing to remember with Melmond, which is tier 5, is Red Mage can learn first slot, no matter what. Red Wizard can learn first and second slot.
We've got a ribbon and an
magic.
opal bracelet in Dwarf.
That's a fantastic find. For Black Magic, Melmond, once you actually have a Red Wizard, you learn everything up to level 5.
And we get an incentive ribbon from the Adamant turn-in.
So that knocks out one of our incentive items, which means we are likely to have to find a loose item to give us progression at some point. Whether it is the loot at this point, or it is at this point we could find the rod, or the cube. Those are the 3 things that we actually need to complete this game, other than the key.
Now, I'll ask, am I crazy that I actually like to do an early Earth Cave dive?
No.
Because it's got a lot of chests?
You're not crazy, and that's just because of the seeds have been promoting an Earth Cave dive, in my opinion. I think it's more common for a lot of people to run into an Earth Cave dive in this seed. I think it's also more common in the open progression versus the extended open progression that we get, because once you get ship, you have a lot of Earth Cave cast access already. You're more than likely going to find the rod, so it's actually a good play.
And by the way, as pointed out by our tracker, Mr. Versetti, we've got unrunnable cremate giants.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Those giants want to make a pizza, and we are the toppings. No, but Earth Cave is a great dive. The reason why Earth Cave is a great dive is because you can check 11 chests right off the bat. Floor 1 and Floor 2 have 11 chests. If you have access to early warp or early exit, they're a great play. WAB, making the play that I personally would like.
Yes, this is the play I make if I can, is at least checking Armory. At least checking Gurgu Volcano Armory.
Now, the important thing to note from WAB is there are a total of 18 chests on this floor. There are 3 chests that a lot of people don't like to check, and 2 more if you don't want to even go to the north too. He is going to check the 13 at this point.
He gets an opal gauntlet out of one of them.
It's good money. It does 8 armor. It's not as good as a purring. Purring is best in slot for all characters in the gauntlet. The only time that you do not want to equip the opal bracelet is if you have a power gauntlet.
Right, I was going to say Power Bonk. I would count Power Bonk as best in slot only because it has the saber effect on it as well.
Well, the only reason I say that opal ring is the best in slot is because that's the thing that you want to equip 99% of the time. The only time that you equip the power gauntlet is because the other 3 slots are taken and you want to have a shield slot at that. Because not only does the power gauntlet only have 6 absorb, it doesn't have your death resist.
This is valid. And other than that opal gauntlet, not a whole lot else great that we've run into so far. We've got unrunnable Wizard Ogre, Green Ogre, Hyena.
Am I seeing this correct, or is the fighter dead on Wote's screen?
Yes, you are seeing that correct.
Number 1, I'm just going to say WAB is working his way toward unrunnable EXPs, which are not EXPs today because of their stone poison, if I remember correctly.
It is stone. They do have stone poison, yes.
And they're unrunnable, but he was going to check the hairpin chest, which I love, because not a lot of runners like to check that chest. It is a trap tile chest. It is a lot of steps to take to get to that trap tile chest. But the thing is, WAB is being super careful to not orphan chests.
And that's generally, you don't want to orphan chests if you can help it, because then you have to go back.
And this is just being frank on this one. In my week 2 match against Hyro Fellows, who is tracking the other race at this exact moment, the go mode item, the loot, was from the bottle that was in that hairpin chest in our race. So anytime that the hairpin chest has anything, I feel vindicated, because the volcano is a fantastic play to make for chest density, and a lot of people love to skip the hairpin chest.
And it's those peds. And he dodges the stone poison.
Well, WAB actually has some decent levels at this point, so it's one of those where it's going against MDef defenses, and he also has, I believe, at this point, 2 ribbons, which is more than what Wote has. So 2 of his characters are immediately safe outside of a 1.66%.
It's the same number of ribbons Wote has. Wote went to Dwarf Cave and got his 2 ribbons. Now the other question to me is no, Wote is not continuing. Is not going to keep the fighter danned. I was going to say the question to me is Wote going to keep his fighter danned?
I would heavily doubt that. If you're going to make a play for a Dan at this point with that party comp, you're probably going to Dan the white mage.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure Wote talked to the blacksmith, Mr. Versetti. Otherwise, why would he have? Oh no, he didn't, because he didn't talk to Sarda. He didn't get the adamant from Sarda.
That is a play that I hope does not haunt him later on. But to be completely frank, you don't need any remnants to complete the game, so maybe a time save for more.
Meanwhile, Wab is going to go and check on... what was the town that was at Vanilla Lefane again? I think it was Elfland. It was Elfland. And meanwhile, Wote is going to go down and go after Carrie. I don't know about that play. I don't know about that play at the levels Wote has. I mean, maybe Mr. Versetti and our tracker in chat may be right. He may be going for an Agama play. And finds a cabin. Orphans the chests on the upper left. Orphans has a couple of chests up there, which I'm not sure. I certainly don't like that. I'm with Wab on the don't orphan.
Definitely don't orphan anything. It's definitely my opinion as well.
We've got Invis 2, Harm 3, Cure 3, and Life at level 4 White Magic. I did miss what was at level 3. What was at level 3 if it's been checked. Level 4 Black has Fast in slot 3.
Level 4 Black with Fast is a big find. Also finding the rod for 10k inside of our elf. So that's a huge find as well. So the big thing is that means that for Wote, that Fast is ninja learnable. That is a huge thing to know. Because everything 1 to 4 black magic is learnable by both Red Mage and Ninja.
Wote also orphaning the Dragon chest, the Red D chest. Okay, we have level 3 White, Heal 3 at level 3 White, which is a nice pickup.
I believe that's in the top 6 White Mage spells all time. Because I always rank the White Mage spells as such. Life 2, then Life, then Cure 4, then Wall, Imbiz 2, Exfer, and then Cure 4. The Heal 3 is actually the 7th place slot, my bad.
And Wote just work of Carrie. Carrie 1 not giving him... So Wote lights his first orb. Now, I don't necessarily like that he orphaned about several chests in there.
You know what? He got out. He got his first orb. He got Cure 4 on his Knight. Because anytime that you find one of those 7 spells on Knight learnable at level 2,
you take it.
That is a huge...
Meanwhile, Wab diving Sea Shrine.
I like this play. I like this play from Wab. The thing that I like the most about Wab is He was going straight up to Kraken. Now he looks like he's going toward Mermaid. Because
And
in
I
my
like
opinion,
the mermaid play.
in my opinion, if you're going in here with confidence, you just go straight toward Kraken and grab all the chests along the way.
No, I like the play going for mermaids because there's just so many chests up there.
Well,
Now,
I'll put it this way. If you're looking at the actual path, there are 2 on that first floor. Now, if you're looking at just a path to each place, the orb path, you have 12 total. You have 2 on first floor, you have 12 total. In Mermaids, including TFC, which is key locked, you have a total of 19. So at this point for WAB, he can only check 18 of those chests. He could be going toward Kraken and getting 12 chests along the way, or going toward Mermaid and getting 6 more chests. It is a gamble. But the only gamble I don't see is that WAB is taking this fight, which is a fantastic fight. When you ever find the Big Eye, that is a huge EXP bonus.
yes, that is a massive EXP fight.
It's the reason
That is one of the better grinding fights.
On other streams like Will Bloodworth, the thief legend that I respect, the man can complete seas with nothing but a thief, one thief. The thing that he always calls that fight is the EXP Pinata. Because that Big Eye has low health as WAB
And
finds the Vorpal Sword.
I'm not a big fan of... I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the Vorpal Sword. But I know there's a lot of people that are.
You know what I say about the Vorpal? It is a fine endgame sword. It is a fine endgame sword. I would always prefer the Masamune,
We've
but the
also got a
Vorpal
defense
will
sword.
always be number 3 for me. The defense sword is a great endgame sword. It casts Ruse on cast, which gives you 80
And we've got Excalibur.
You know what I like? WAB has found both endgame swords for his fighter at this point.
And
He's found both endgame swords at this point. He has a defense sword, he has an Excalibur, he has a Vorpal. He's found all the things he needs for actual things, and then he finds a ribbon too!
there is ribbon number 3. Yes, it may be a little bit of results-oriented commentary here, but I love that mermaid play.
And he finds a flame armor too! That is... Okay, so behind Dragon Armor and Opal Armor, Flame Armor, Ice Armor are the next 2. In order. Like, those 2, it depends on what other shield you have available. But finding Flame Armor or Ice Armor, those are 3rd best in the slot, tied.
And a Pro Cape.
For your knight, the end. And a Pro Cape, which is best in slot shield slot for all of your mages. This is a stacked mermaids.
And another Pro Cape. And
Stacked mermaids!
Yes, this mermaid play is a winner. Meanwhile, Wote is headed for Mirage Tower. I hope I'm sure Mirage Tower will have some good stuff in it, but I'm not sure that it'll have enough to make up for those mermaids. God, those mermaids. We get a great axe. We get some money, more money, more money. I would say about the only thing that could make up for this play is Canoe being in Mirage Tower loose.
I mean, we know that we still have not had the incentive locations from both Waterfall and Ordeals. So yes, if if Sky is loose, Mirage is loose actually at this point because we don't have the cube. If you find loose cube, that is definitely what I would say. Loose cube or loose canoe is the things that would put Wote way in the head. Because WAB has found endgame tier items. Like
And
I said
a
before,
lot of them.
if you are a new runner, you are looking for some endgame tier. You are going to look for a Masamune, an Excal, a Vorpal, a Sun Sword, a Defense Sword, and a I did a derp, didn't I?
Ice Sword?
Masamune, Excal,
Massa,
Vorpal,
Excal,
Sun Sword,
Vorpal.
Defense, and then Ice Sword.
Yeah. Massa, Excal, Sun, in no particular order. Massa, Excal, Sun, Defense, Vorpal, and Ice.
Pretty much. And the thing is, like, Ice is enough to get by, and what I call is basically, Ice is enough to get by, Sun is old reliable. When you find the Masa, the Excel, or the Vorpal, you're like, okay, I have a fighter with an endgame sword. I am good to go. Even if fast is bad, even if temper is, I am good to go. And the thing that I always say about this is, the Vorpal is excellent at killing bosses. The Masamune and the Excel are great against trash because of their higher base damage or their ability to hit all elemental weaknesses,
And
which are both truths.
not really anything of note in that first floor of Mirage, and Wote doing something that it's an advanced play, something you don't see a lot of newer runners do. He clears off his cure spells, his curative spells, in that case heal 3, before he uses his house. That is full heal your hit points. I don't remember exactly how many the house. I don't remember exactly how many the house heals, but it's not a guaranteed full heal.
That is true. That is something that is in the alpha works to potentially have as a flag where houses will full heal you. In addition to restoring all of your spell slots, it's just not all of the community has agreed on that one though yet.
Personally, I wouldn't like that.
Some people wouldn't. People like me say, yeah, but the reason I'm using a house is so I can get all my spell slots back anyway. So it just means that I have to use 2 spell slots, 2 houses as opposed to just the 1 for the most cases. And I can see both sides in that one, so. Again, alpha flags are alpha, current flags are current, and that is not a current thing in this tier. And houses still will only restore 1 to 120.
We've got a Silver Gauntlet, Silver Helm, Flame Sword, Heal Potion, some money, a Saber, more money, more money, more money, and a White Shirt.
White Shirt is a huge find. White Shirt is a huge find. It casts Invis 2. It is equipable by the White Mage, if possible. And it provides as much defense absorb as a gold bracelet on that app.
It is second best in slot for actual defense, but because of the Invis 2, because of the cast on use Invis 2, I would call it best in slot myself.
Personally, for me, I would still say the Opal Bracelet is best in slot because of the White Tea being able to be used as an Invis 2 cast item for any other character in the game. So if you were keeping it casting only on the White Mage, that means your White Mage is not casting Invis 2 on its own, which it potentially could have at any seed.
There is that. Most of the time I end up having all of my all of my armor slots used anyway.
And at that point, I fully agree with you on that one.
Of course, I usually run Fighter Rainbow Mage.
As most people do. It is the comp that will get you through the most amount of seeds in the game.
We've got nothing good so far in those chests that Wote orphaned, but we've still got the last two to check. Now, what is the best sword a red mage can equip? Or red
wizard?
We do get a gold bracelet in that.
The best sword that a red wizard can equip, in my opinion, is the Vorpal sword. And that's because the red wizard doesn't have the strength growth that the knight, which makes that the Vorpal is actually a great sword with a red wizard. If you're looking at if the red wizard is my only fizz, then I will say the Masamune. But that is my personal preference at that point, not the preference of everyone in the community.
And Wote is making that Earth Cave dive. And is disdaining the first floor chests. It looks like he's going straight, but he doesn't have the rod. It looks like I was going to say it looks like he's going straight after Lich, but I don't understand. He finds a Bane sword.
Oh man,
and
those
a
are two massive finds. Not only does he find, in my opinion, the best sword in the game, a lot of other people would say that's the best base damage weapon in the game, the Masamune, equipped by any class in the game. He also finds the Bane sword, which Bane sword is another aspect. Bane sword has a 3 out of 256 chance to kill anything in the game. Anything. Chaos, Tiamat 2, Kraken 2, it has a 3 out of 256. 1.666 repeating chance to kill anything in the game. It is very, very, very good. It is an endgame weapon. It is something to always keep in mind because when anything hits the fan, you still have the Bane sword in your inventory. You can still use it. You can still get a victory. We've already seen in this tournament a Bane killed Chaos. A poison smoked Chaos. A 3 out of 256. So, just saying.
Wait, what?
Yes.
And by the way, Red D with Cremate is
also stone
and
poison.
Stone poison.
Yes, you heard me correctly. You have a 3 out of 256 to roll any instant death against an enemy. That is both you wearing a ribbon or any major enemy at that point. I would say if I remember right, it's Kraken 2, Tia 2 have all 3 out of 256 against pretty much everything. Again, I have to do my research again. But the thing to note is you still have a chance. With the Bane Sword, we have seen it in the last tournament, in fact. Tristal MTG has actually won a race by Bane Swording Chaos. So yes, Bane does work against Chaos. And I kid you not, if you've not watched the round 2 match between Tristal MTG and Wolcleosis, you need to watch it. It is the match to watch of the tournament so far. And I'm not going to spoil the ending.
Okay, Wote does have the rod. I missed where the rod was. I guess
the rod was in Elfland.
Must have missed where the rod was.
It was a bot item in Elfland.
That's right. It's the bot Elfland. We've got a Zeus Gauntlet, which is... I always liked the Zeus Gauntlet. We've got an Opal Armor, which...
Opal Armor is the second best bot item for the Knight. It is only behind the Dragon Armor. And the reason is because Opal Armor only resists lightning, where the Dragon Armor resists fire, ice, and lightning. they're the same absorb at the end of the day. So the thing is, do you feel confident? Do you have other ways to mitigate that? Otherwise, it's the same absorb.
And Wab, after downing Carry, is going to make the Ice Cave play. I like the Ice Cave play. I like the play on Ice Cave. You've got an incentive item. You've got a lot of chests. Now you also have a lot of enemies and a lot of chance to run into something that will do bad things to you.
If I remember it, you still have a majority of less enemies that you can run into on a random encounter in the Ice Cave versus the Marsh Cave. But again, I have to look at my actual number. I used to have charts for everything on this one, but with the death of my old computer, I lost a lot of my old resources.
Well, that does happen. And Wote is just going down, just about to get into the Lich fight.
He has level 1 nuke. If he does not kill Lich in the first turn, then Lich has nuclear or something like that.
And we've got a canoe and Ice Cave.
Wab using the warp trick. Wote deciding that the skeleton in purple robes needs to get aired out and takes his Masamune with fast and just obliterates him with about a 478. So yeah, no. Lich is dead.
So Wote gets his second ribbon from the Adamant turn-in. Unrunnable Frosty.
You know what? I'm okay with this. I have both an Excal and a Vorpal. I am very happy with my fighter's equipment at this point. In fact, it'd be at this point where I'd consider maybe I would go with a tank fighter, damage fighter strategy.
Okay, Harm 4 is at level 6, and then Bane in first slot, Fire 3 in second slot at level 6.
So, Bane is learnable for the Red Wizard. Everything else is not.
We get an Opal Helm, which, because you only get 3 ribbons, I'll take an Opal Helm on my second fighter.
I mean, yeah, like, if you're going to go with this damage fighter, tank fighter strat, I would always recommend giving your ribbon to your damage fighter as opposed to your tank fighter. And that's because you're expecting to put, like, Opal or Dragon Armor in addition to some sort of shield, pro ring, and some other stuff, and you basically cover a lot of your resistance.
Other than that, in the canoe, not really anything of note on the on this floor. We're still looking for those 2 loose items.
Isn't it always the truth? We've had Wote clear Mirage Shower at this. We have had Wab actually go through and clear ice, but then takes the eye fight.
Well, I think he may be looking to do a little bit of grind off of this eye fight.
I mean, at this point, you're more than likely to have 12 items I think at this point. Because you have both the canal and the bridge free. So you only need to find a total of 10. But, he immediately exits out afterwards and decides, I've got the canoe. I can actually go check ordeals, which I like Wab's routing.
And yes, Wab is playing this real smart.
I like Wab's routing. Wote is making the play for more chess. In his mindset, he has not gotten the canoe yet. He has not checked ice. I am not disagreeing with it. He is going to pick up his Excal. He's going to pick up his Warple. He's going to catch up his 2 Pro Capes.
Yes, he's going to pick up. He's going to pick up all the endgame swords.
No, I think he already has the Katana, which is what I deem the Vorpal 2.0, as anybody has ever talked to me. Because the Katana has better damage output, but the problem is the Ninja just doesn't have the same strength grade that the Knight has, and that's the problem with it.
And Wab is going to head into ordeals. I like this play.
I definitely like this play for ordeals. You have a total of 10 chests that you can check. You have some decent EXP fights that you can take. I believe there is some Wiz Mummies in here that you can take. There are some large packs of Sorcerers and some Zombie Bulls that you can take. Those are the 3 that I would recommend taking.
And meanwhile, Wote is finding his insane treasure trove that is the mermaid.
Oh yeah, Aegis Shield was also healed.
No, Wote, come on, Wote. Drop the silver gauntlets, or the silver rings. Yes, and he's done a couple of door dupes in here. Or just random graphics pool anyway.
It hurts me that every time I see somebody just look at a freaking pro cape and just let it go, especially when you just see all the silver gauntlets on that last character. But the good news is he does find the Flames armor, and the Flame armor, along with the Ice armor, are best in slot for Thief. When in doubt, if you can't remember what the Thief can equip, think that the Ninja can equip whatever the Fighter can, because the Ninja is always one step behind the Fighter.
And Wab is up onto the top floor of ordeals. What is it, 12 or 11? No, 12 chests up there, or 13?
10.
It's 10?
10.
Oh yeah, it's 1, 2, and then 2 4s.
Sorry, it's 9, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. There's a house, a silver shield, a cabin, nothing really of note.
Yeah, it's 9 total, and it's mainly because you can remember that one is linked, and you have 1 chest that's behind a trap tile, you have 3 chests, and you have 4 chests, and you have the incentivized chest.
And we have a loot.
Wab finds a loot. Wab finds a loot in ordeals, and that is one of the 6 items that is needed to complete the game in every seed outside of Chaos Rush.
So now I think we got to look for loose items.
Let's see. We have checked the incentivized locations in Ice. We have checked the Marsh Cave. We have checked ordeals. We've checked the robot. We have checked.
Nope. We haven't checked robot. No one's been to robot yet, and only Wab can go at this point because only he has the canoe.
So the robot is the thing on the menu at this point, in my opinion, for WAB. WAB is actually in the lead at this point. We've already pulled the key item out of the item shop, so the robot is the last. If robot has the ruby, that is the best news for Wote. That's the only thing I'm going to say about this one. Because if the robot has a ruby, Wote's still in this.
Wait, now correct me if I'm wrong, but key. No, we're not quite in go mode. WAB would not quite be in go mode yet. He still has to find the cube.
Well, let me ask you this. Wote has full cleared Earth at this point.
Not quite. Not quite. He didn't check the first floor chests at all. Wote's orphaned several chests.
6.
Through Earth, through Volcano, through...
In no mode, we know that Volcano's dry. In no mode, yes. We know that Volcano's dry. We don't know what the 6 chests in Earth are.
Right, we know the Volcano is dry, but Wote doesn't.
Wote does not know that. We know that. So, as commentators, we know that. Sorry.
Oh god, the Sahugan Fun Pack. I hate that Sahugan Fun Pack.
You know what I'm gonna say? What we get from the robot? We got the herb.
Herb from robot.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the herb is not the cube. Why am I saying that the herb is not the cube? We have 2 loose items to find. What's the most likely thing that's gonna give us from the herb turn-in? It's gonna be the key.
Key, yeah. Key or another that'll get us to a key.
If you're playing the seed as a runner, you get the herb from the robot. You go turn that in at the Elf Woman Park. You get the cube, you go check 1, 2, 3 of Sky. If you don't get anything there, then you go check the things that you're missing. But the thing is, at this point, we could potentially get a bottle someplace. We could potentially get a ruby someplace. And both of those are still on the menu.
We've got level 7 life 2 in Gaia. And it looks like Wote is heading down towards Kraken.
I like this play. You are in the play that saying that I need to find key items. I'm going to check every chest along the way. This is a great play to make. Sea Shrine has a total of 32 chests along the way. You have Unrunnable Ghosts here, which is spooky as all heck.
Yeah, I do not like seeing that play. Those ghosts tend to have something nasty.
You know what? I will take ghosts having something nasty over ghosts having nothing. Because ghosts hit hard. Base damage, ghosts hit the hardest out of pretty much anybody out of the game for random encounters. They will
By the way, WAB is going to take a shot at Kraken at this point.
Like, ghosts will murk you. Like, I am actually A-okay with ghosts doing anything other than auto-attacking me, because ghost auto-attacks are scary. They hit for over 100.
By the way, thank God the seafood special is runnable.
Oh, seafood special is not bad as long as you don't run into lobsters with something nasty like poison.
Or the moon.
Poison, Fire 3, Nuke. Like, I've seen the gambit with the lobsters at this. Lobsters always hit hard. They're like ghosts. You never want to see them. And they always have something nasty. And they're always just saying, hey, why don't you use Ice 3 or Lightning 3 or Nuke or something to deal with them?
Okay, Wote doing a little bit of warp. A little bit of warp to get around, to get out of the second, having to redo that trap tile fight.
The only thing is, I don't remember what he had on the armor for the ninja. He's running Tank Ninja Damage Fighter at this point, and I didn't remember if the Tank Ninja had a Flame Shield or an Ice Shield. I know he found the other armor at this point.
I think it's a flame shield.
It was ice armor on the actual chest, and that's why I was concerned. Because you always want to alternate when you're playing a ninja tank.
And Wote is down on the bottom floor. Gonna make take them.
And Wote is going to be the first one in to fight Kraken. Kraken Honda. Kraken 1. Here he goes. Fights. Swings in. Goes for a fast on his ninja and a white.
No,
Ninja
fast
has
on his
got
knight.
Masamune. So he's running Masamune on the ninja, and he has the X-Cal on the knight. That is important to know. Swings in on the ninja. The ninja gets hits, but he doesn't die. He swings in. Double. And another fast going in. Another white shirt. Thunder Kraken. We have Thunder Kraken. 6 hits, 376. Kraken is down. Wote gets his third orb lit.
And down goes Frazier.
Well, Fraser had to give us a nice accoutrement of ingredients in addition to our entire dinner party list. Probably serve a bruschetta and maybe a nice wine to go with it.
The only thing I don't like about Wab going straight to Sea Shrine on this is I think I would have liked to have seen him turn in the herb first in case it's the key, so he could check Sea Room.
Oh, TFC? Definitely.
Yeah.
You have airship. So, my rule of thumb with airship, the end. You have airship. Get all of your key chest locations outside of Marsh. You can skip Marsh. Marsh is my.
Well, but we don't have. He doesn't have the key yet, but he has the herb that could turn into be the key. And Wote picks up his canoe. I know you said earlier that you tend to play a little safer than a lot of runners do.
I do.
Kind of too, because I kind of do too, because I've seen a lot. I've had a lot of runs where things have just gone completely sideways.
The only safety I don't take is the white mage, because the white mage will always let me die. That is the one safety I do not agree with ever. White Mage is better dead, always. Because even if it's Fate level 1, I can get better EXP on the characters that can actually do anything.
Now, is the floor that Wab is on, is that Sharknado floor?
Yes, that is Sharknado floor. Sharknado is the chest that he's going into. The specific room that he's going into is the Sharknado room, just so you know. And that's why I got concerned with Wote skipping the ice armor there, because you typically want to go ice armor flame shield or flame shield ice armor. Flame armor. Things saying that I lost, then I've lost. And I know Meridian is one of, if not the most competent dev team member on there. White mages are dead weight.
And circle. And Wote is going to finish off the ice cave.
And I like it. He checks the last chest, he exits out, he's gone.
Well, it saves time.
He has exit. Great use of spells. As we have Wab going into the Kraken fight. He's going in with some defensive approach, it looks like. Kraken swings on his knight. Does not kill him. Good. He gets the fast off on his Excalibur wielding. He's going with a base damage approach versus the crit approach. Both are valid. Decides to go with another fast on his Vorpal wielding knight. Swings in. Doesn't get much on his white mage. 8 hits
for 630. Done.
From the X-Cal wielding knight, clears off his water. So we have both of our runners clearing Kraken at this point.
Wab has not cleared Earth Cave yet. Wab, I think, is turned in that herb.
This is big at this point, in my opinion.
And it's the bottle.
That is huge. That can be anything. That could be anything. That could be the cube. That could be the ruby. That could also be the TNT. That is huge. If I was WoW, that's what I would do. I would go mode my quest items immediately.
Yeah, I'm turning in my fetch quests. Do you want to have a fetch quest?
Do you want to play with me? Do you want to have bad turn order? Do you want to have ambushes? All of them. Just see you get pent over by those ambushes as they cast stone poison.
And Wab's gonna turn in that bottle. Let's see what it is. Meanwhile, Wote is about to get the herb himself.
Cube.
It's the cube.
Oh, good lord.
If I'm Wab, I think I'm going straight to Sky at this point.
I I am going straight to Sky. I don't care about anything else. I'm going straight to Sky. Do you know why I'm going straight to Sky?
Because it gives you the possibility of go moding Earthcake.
Well, not only that, like even if we didn't have no mode at this point, Sky. Why Sky is a play that you always want to make? 30.
Because there's a ton of chests.
34! More than any place in the game. 34.
Yeah, you want to get the highest. That's the key. That's the key when you're playing these. Is when people like me talk about the mathematically correct play, it is the play that has the highest chest density.
I'm giving you a great big hug when you said mathematically correct, by the way.
It lets you chests in the least.
Always follow the math, because the math will never steer you wrong. Yes, I'm doing math on Twitch. Yes, I'm Kiyu Katsuki. Yes, that's what I do. You have techniques to deal with these vampires. Take those fights. Good.
Just as a note, kind of about me personally, I have an applied math degree. I think in math.
I have an electrical engineering degree. I do nothing but think in math, and then think that somebody else has messed me up in math at that point.
Okay, Wab finds nothing useful on the first floor of.
But he finds 5 vampires, which is a great fight. Except those vampires have fire too, which is less great. But Nuke still clears them out. So Nuke level 1, still just Nuke level 1, kills all the vampires, gets 24,000 XP. Great fight for Wab.
Those are a large number of vampires. When you've got level 1 Nuke, it's an experience pinata.
It is fantastic, and that's all you find in Sky Cave. As some people call it. Because here's the thing. You have 12 items at this point. Anything you find in here is going to be a great EXP find. You're going to get, I believe, 350% EXP on anything you find in here. And all of them have a yield of around 2,000 to 3,500 EXP outside of war.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't get Warmech, you kind of almost don't want to find Warmech. You don't really need it if you're Wab.
You don't need it if you're Wab. In fact, you don't want to find it if you're Wab, because the thing is, Warmech still has all the boss encounters for their spell usage. Which means Warmech could nuke you immediately and then you wipe out of Sky Palace, which is a lot of time wasted. And yeah, no. But he's running from Cerberus, which I disagree with, because I believe he had Ice 3, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad play, just because I'm wanting to conserve spell usage. I'm in this to full clear ice. Yeah, Sky Palace.
But then he uses Ice 3 against Saber Tees and Bandcats, which are
unrunnable fight.
Say this. Unrunnable fight.
Unrunnable
yes, fight. But still less EXP than those 3 Cerberuses just a second ago.
And in his less than greater than room, he's going to find not really anything of use except...
Number 1, I want to hug you again, DM Stewart. Number 1, because you described that room correctly. It is less than greater than room, because that's the signs that those 2 rooms make. And that's the reason I always call it either less than greater than room or not equals, nothing else. But he does find the white shirt.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot the white shirt was in there. Flame sword and white shirt are about the only 2 things of real use in there. And Wab is now heading up to floor at Blue D
Blue D
And
is
then-
standard on this one. Unfortunately, Blue D is standard. We don't have trap tile randomized on this Swiss set, so. But the good news is one swing and one quad X kills it, because quad X is 300 less EXP, and the swing got it below that point.
And now let's see what's on first floor sky. We have a power bonk.
Power bonk is a huge find. I don't believe we found temper at any good charge point, so that is the thing that makes me think that I am in go mode at this. The only other thing that keeps me from thinking that I'm in go mode is nothing at this point, because I'm missing Ruby and TNT.
And a key.
And a key.
And Manticore has crack.
Why Manticores? Why you have to do this to me?
Why you gotta do it like that, Manticores?
Seriously. We're doing this for the kids. Kids don't do
We've got
drugs, man.
gold. Nothing great. There's a wizard staff, which is the wizard staff the one that does confuse?
Yes, and confuse what it does is basically.
Is it wizard staff or
wizard?
Is it wizard staff or mage staff that does confuse?
Wizard
I always
staff
get those
does
two confused.
Wizard staff does confuse. Mage staff does fire chip. And what wizard staff does is the confusion effect actually applies a status effect on the enemies when it's actually applicable, and you actually succeed in the cast. This is what it does. As a confused target, you will cast the spell Fire 1, on any friendly target, which means, including yourself, you will cast Fire 1 on that target. Which means that it's really funny when you actually confuse undead targets. Rare, but fun.
Or when you confuse Carrie. Because Carrie has the potential to hit like a flippin' truck.
Carrie always has a chance to hit like a flipping truck, and that's because Carrie actually has a high base damage. And the thing is, with Confuse, you just cast the fire spell on yourself all the time, which is great because Carrie is weak to status effect. And Web finds a great AXP at Pinata as long as these Green Medusas don't have Blaze. And the only reason I have to preface that is because Green Medusas have had Blaze 2 out of the 3 seats I've actually commentated this season.
And we don't get to find out if they do because, well, yeah.
Turn order.
And we've not really found anything great yet here in Sky Castle.
Light
We
Axe
have a light
is actually
axe.
great. It casts Harm 2 if you use it as an effect. And I like Wab's play of destroying everything that is bad.
Yeah, just dropping every weapon that's not equipped or otherwise useful.
It is a very simple play if you're playing as a new runner. That is a play that I recommend. If you know something is not usable or it's not good or anything, just drop it all. Because Light Axe is actually good. It casts Harm 2. It's good for you. Now, Harm 2
very
is
useful.
only effective against undead. Now, that's the important thing. It's only effective against undead. That does not mean that undead are weak to it. And that's the important thing to, because undead are not weak to harm spells. That just means that they're susceptible to harm spells. Now, the Harm 4 is actually the thing that I always say to people. It's very, very good. It is as good as a Fade cast against undead. But if against anything else, it is Bupkis.
And now, okay, I like Wab this Grey Naga fight. It's great XP for a single enemy that's not usually all that tough. And nothing great in that second floor of Wab. Or second floor of Sky Castle.
Now, here's the
We
thing
get a
that
Sun
threw me
Sword
off.
and another Light Axe.
Hey, we found
And
the TNT though.
loose TNT.
You know what? I am WAB at this point. If I don't check a hold of the other chests, that is a bad play in my opinion. Why do I say that's a bad play in my opinion? So I've already seen Titan Sentinel hold the item for Go mode in this tournament. Which means you check the 8 remaining chests in Sky 3. Please.
Absolutely.
If you have warp available, from a veteran runner's perspective, you should always check Sky 3 before checking Sky 2.
WAB just orphaned the chests at the bottom.
He orphaned 4 chests at this point. Wote is clearing these chests at this point. Sentries are great EXP for the most part, for people in the know. Sentries are typically great EXP if you just want to kill them. They are weak to lightning. I would definitely recommend killing them and running away with the rest of your gear. So send in your Excal user, you can run with everything else.
I don't like that play of orphaning those 4 chests. You haven't orphaned chests the rest of the game. You're not in Go.
No, you are not. But the thing is, like for WAB,
like orphaning chests for WAB.
WAB is making a 50% play at this point. And I'm okay with that. Like, as a runner who thinks he's behind at the 1 hour and 30 minute mark at this point, if you think you're behind, you're like, I have found my loose TNT, that's probably going to give me my key. And that I am in Go mode. I am in Go mode.
Well, if it was orphaning like the first floor of Earth, it would be a different story. Orphan of Sky, I really don't like because the time lost to get back is so huge.
It is massive, don't get me wrong. But let's put it this way. I like WAB's play. Unfortunately, he walked into, I think at this point, 4 Wotian specials, 4 Red Hide, which is the Wote special in the Bridge of Destiny. Again, if you guys like Warmech, we're not going to run into it on WAB's side. So if you want it on Wote's side, get your blessed RNGs in chat. Because he has run into 4 Wotian specials at this point. Which means that Warmech is only going to appear on 1 encounter table at this point. We don't know if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, or maybe 8. But it's rare. It's only on...
Meanwhile, we've got WAB in the Tiamat fight.
Going for some fast and some invis too. Again, Power Gauntlet. Again, if you're gonna run double fighter, this is something I'd recommend for WAB for next week. Is if you're gonna run double fighter like this, you're going to have a fighter that's going to be a tank that's going to take 50% of your swings. You don't want them in the first slot.
And WAB makes quick work of Tiamat. That is 3 orbs for WAB.
If you commit to this double fighter play, the reason that you run double fighter is because you're running a tank fighter, damage fighter. And you have still a answer in case that your damage fighter dies. So what you want to do is you'll typically want to set your fighter in the first slot to use defense sword, and your fighter in your second slot to use power gun, or in your third slot, or you're in the fourth slot, depending on what you're doing. But the point of the matter is,
let's see what this
fighter wants to fight the fast charge.
Let's see what this TNT comes in. It's the crown.
Doesn't answer anything yet so far. Could still be in the ruby.
And it's the ruby.
I hate myself slightly but I know myself at this point. We are looking for a loose key, everyone. You guys wanted a seed that is trolly is all sin. Here you go. Loose key.
Oh, that's just cruel. That's just cruel.
Cruel? Cruel. Cruel, you say? Welcome to all of my seeds. I didn't roll this. Wait, did I? I did.
That's as cruel. That's as cruel as nuke imps and poison and damage poison unrunnable ogres.
Hi, I'm Kyukitsuki. I rolled the seed. This is stuff I've rolled before. Thank you, DM Stewart.
And Wab.
As we have Wote in the Tiamat fight.
Yes, Wote in the Tiamat fight. Wab is orphaning the first floor Earth chests. He's checking second floor Earth. I don't mind this play because because you go down, you clear. You go down, you clear Kraken. Finds his massa. You go down, you clear Kraken. Then you can check those first floor Earth. Yes. To answer Damon Cord in chat, how's this one doing?
Hi, hello.
We've got
earlier
one.
my seed today. I tried to run a seed today. I am running into exactly the same thing I ran into my seed today. Hi, hello.
Wote, meanwhile, is going to go through his chain and find the bad news.
Wab is skipping first floor chest.
I don't mind that play because
it's
easy to go back and catch them after you get crack or lich.
You know what I'm gonna say here? Wab does not skip this chest. Unfortunately, it's just a heal staff. Wote, I believe, skipped that chest earlier.
Now, once I finish clearing Earth Cave, if I'm Wab, I'm going to catch Titan's Tunnel. Those 4 chests in Titan's Tunnel.
You're darn straight you're checking those Titan's Tunnel chests. Those have all already been a loose item in this particular flag set. If Wote does not check them, I'm going to be
upset. Which Wote is checking them right now.
Hi, Mr. Versetti says, Blaze Death Touch Green Medusas.
No.
Yes!
Titan's Tunnel is not your key.
Blaze Death Touch Green Medusas. Those are an answer. You know who else rolled a Blaze Ambush Green Medusa seed less than 24 hours?
Was that you? Maybe?
Maybe.
And Wote is going back to check his orphaned chests in Volcano, which we know were nothing. Titan had nothing of use. To answer Trenton GL in chat, what do we have unseen for where this key could be? It could be in the first floor. It could be on the first floor of Earth Cave. It's not in Mermaid City. Everything else was in Mermaid City. All your endgame swords, except for Massa. Multiple pro capes. Just so much was in Mermaid City. I think the Aegis shield was in Mermaid City. but both runners have checked Mermaid City. It could be on the at the bottom end of third floor sky. Marsh has been fully explored except for the key-locked chests. Can't be behind the key-locked chests. C has been full cleared except for the C room, which obviously can't be anything useful. Earth, first floor, all of first floor Earth has been orphaned by both runners.
That's a huge find for Wote, though. With the volcano chest, eh?
I'm gonna say whoever finds the key is winning. Whoever finds the key first is gonna be the winner. Is gonna be leading.
Well, the good news, we can already eliminate, I believe, at this point.
I think at this point it has to be either on first floor Earth or third floor Sky.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's on fourth floor Earth at this point. And the reason that I say that is because the only other chest we have both runners actually chest Red Dragon chest. The other thing I have to question is, have we had one runner check all of Marsh?
All of Marsh except for the key locked.
So that makes things slightly more difficult, doesn't it?
Well, I think the only places that we haven't seen checked are third floor Sky, floor Earth.
I am darn certain that we actually had. Did Wote not check all of the Sky?
He didn't. No, neither Wote nor Wab checked the bottom, the chests at the bottom of first floor of third floor Sky. So
I am upset for both these runners at this point.
I mentioned
you have found the ruby.
I mentioned at the time. That's why I mentioned at the time. No, Wote checked Titan's Tunnel, and it was nothing.
So, if you're a new runner, this is an example seed for you. This is why you don't orphan chests.
Especially chests that are very deep in dungeons. Okay, chest up top was nothing. But Wab has not checked Titans yet. And it's third floor Sky Castle.
Of course it is. They orphan those chests. You don't orphan chests.
Wab has not turned in his slab yet. Or maybe he has. No, Trenton. To answer Trenton, he has found the slab. The slab was turned in from. The slab was turned in from when you killed Garland. And Wab is going to make that play. Wab is going to head back up to... Wab is going to check that third floor of Sky.
Wote is about to be disappointed because he orphaned this chest earlier. He could have gotten punished from it. He's not going to get punished for it today, but he's going to get punished later because you orphaned a chest in floor 3 of Earth. This is what happens when you orphan chests, and this is what happens when the orphan chests say, no, bad boy.
No, to answer Piercing Mountain, Wab has lit all 4 orbs. Neither runner has the key.
And you need the key to actually get into Chaos's room in the final floor. So key is one of the 6 items that you need to complete the game. And what happens is, we have 2 loose items, and both of those loose items are needed to complete the game at this point. So Wab is going to check the correct play, which is orphaning chests on the right side of floor 3 of Sky, and Wote is slightly behind. Because he orphaned other chests and he's going to go check those first. Because to complete every single seed in this game outside of Chaos Rush, you need the loot, the key, the chime, the cube, the rod, and the oxygen. You need 6 items to be in go mode. And right now, we are missing the key.
I'm sorry,
and
it was
there
the top.
Wab is keys.
There it is. I'm sorry, it was the top of floor 3 that he left the orphaned.
And that's why you don't orphan chests.
Yes. At least not deep in the dungeon. You don't orphan chests that are deep.
If you find the ruby, you say there may be a 3rd item. That's always the way I feel. Because the ruby has 4 chests behind it in this flag set. At the best, it could be floated. Or at the best, that it could be started having my item. Which means that I am still checking for items. We had a loose ruby already. You check for all the items.
Yeah, this is... This is to pardon the pun, this is a key reason why you don't orphan chests more than 2 floors into a dungeon.
Key, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Well, the good news is, Wab at 1 hour and 44 minutes is the first person in go mode. He is in Topher.
Now, if you have been enjoying this race, and I really hope you have, give these runners a follow.
Please. Please follow the runners. They're the ones doing all the work in front of you. Like, as much as I love my tracker, Mr. Versetti, as much as I love you, Mr. Stewart, at this point, and as much as I love Mr. Oasis at this point for doing our restreaming, the person and the people that we're actually following right now are Wote and Wab. They are the people putting on this race. They are the people trying their hardest to complete this, to get to a point in this race, to win. Please give them a follow.
And Wab, through the Phantom fight, on his way down toward Chaos. Meanwhile, Wote on his way up to those orphaned chests in Sky.
The important thing is we're noticing that Wab is running away from a lot of fights at this point. Those metal slimes are actually very lucrative EXP fights. If you're looking for EXP at all, we know that our white mage has an exit at this point. You can clear those metal slimes with fire spells at all or any non-elemental spell, and they're worth a lot of EXP. So we're seeing Wab in true go mode. He thinks he's behind at this point, which is, to be completely frank, honest for anybody who's actually completing these seeds. If you are close to a 2-hour mark at this point, I think you're behind. So I can totally see that from Wab.
I can certainly understand Wab thinking he's behind. You don't get the key. When you get the key out of a chest that you orphaned, you figure you're way behind. And Wab onto Earth. Going through a very nice, empty spot in the encounter table too.
Personally, for me, I'd rather save my hero run for the floor 3 or floor 4 of Topher, because those fights are much more dangerous. And for those of you who are not familiar with this flag set, when you're doing these kind of runs in floor 3 or 4 floor, you're going to be running into a lot of cases where you're going to be running into a lot of water packs, which hit very difficultly for physical damage, or potentially a seafood pack, or potentially a great shark wizard sahag pack, which are not good. For the sea shrine, for the sky shrine, you could run into unrunnable airs, you could run into unrunnable Rainbow Bugle Special, which is with Sahag Vampires. You could run into Sorcerers, you could run into Iron Ghouls, a lot of things that are not good. Wote is right behind at this point though. At the 1 hour 49 minute mark, only 4 minutes behind.
And Wab making his way down. Carry with Nuke.
Nuke. Nuke nuke. That is different from nuclear. It hits for 100 to 400 pure damage against M-Death. It is scary, it is scary, it is scary.
Carry 2 is not fun, and Nuke is the first spell on the list too.
Nuke, in the community known as Nuku, is nuclear hits for less damage. It hits for the same values as Fade, 80 to 320, and you can actually get past it. Nuke, N-U-K-E, N-U-K-E, Nuke is scarier because it hits for 100 to 400. That's always what it hits for.
And, Big Eye with Squint, which is not something you necessarily like to see. His way through water floor. Wote, meanwhile, on Earth floor. Four for 138 with no buffs, so that's an awful nice. That's a nice shot off the X. I just noticed something. Invis 2 and Fast are the same level for that red mage.
Of course it is. Welcome to all the seeds I roll.
And 4 for 85 and 3 for 85 off that.
I'm sorry, Lyra. We're using the Masamune and the Excalibur to actually do damage.
Whoa, tornado on Kraken.
Two high-level fighters can deal with tornado.
And there goes Kraken, too.
No trouble at all using the abilities that you have available to you. The high HP growth in the fighter. The ability to use good weapons like the Masamune and the Excalibur.
Wote is giant, though. Wab onto air floor.
As Carrie nukes Wote!
Just about to...
Carrie nuked Wote. Wote is down to 2 light warriors at this point. And gets through.
Wote could be in trouble.
Defense sword. Love it. He's got a defense fighter and an offense fighter. He has the offense fighter with the Masamune at this point to get in higher base damage, gets in the white shirts, gets in the fast, tries to get as much out of everything that he can. Masamune,
Oh,
Excalibur.
5 for 18. That is not good.
High absorb carry. It's exactly what I said before though. Sometimes you run into a high absorb enemy that sometimes you need crits to get through. But the Excalibur is not going to get through at this point. It needs to get a little bit higher. Power Gauntlet. Going in with the Excalibur. Trying to buff up as much as possible using the triple X. Does not. Not underneath 300 hit points is not going to. As we have Wote on Kraken 2. Using the Thief to give fast charges over to the Knight. I love this play. Nuke from the White Mage on Wab's side. We are in a really close race, only separated by 1 floor. 3 hits for about 27 damage, I believe. The white shirt goes through. Fire 2 from Kienbot. Doesn't do much. As Wote clears. Welcome, Raiders. Wab clears Tiamat 2. As we have Wote going to the fight. Another white shirt coming out. Defense sword from the red wizard. Interesting. Fire 3 coming from Tiamat as we have Wab in the cast fight. Bane swords coming out. I love this play.
Looks like
3 out of 2 say 56. Fasting up the other knight. Bane swords and defense sword. I love this thing. Quad X. Bane sword comes in. Ineffective. More white shirts. 40 evasion each time it casts.
more Bane sword too.
It happens 1 out of... sorry. 3 out of 2 for... White shirt. Gets the evasions up. Nuke from gas! Nuke from gas!
Nuke. Chaos casting nuke.
That's 2 nukes in the pool. You gotta get your main fighter up at this point. You have to get buffs out. You have to get work. This is very close at this point. Bane Sword comes out. Ineffective. 3 out of 256 and not working. Heal 3s. Let's go. Cure 4. Nuclear!
Nuclear. Ouch.
3 White Warriors at this point. He's going to try and heal up. Unfortunately, the White
Unfortunately,
Wizard
there goes that
dies.
white mage.
So he's going in with the Fear Paragon strats. He's got the heal 3. He's going to see if he can actually get it done with the one Masamune wielding fighter at this point. Going with full heal 3 strats and power bunks. Going to try and get 2 and 1 in this scenario. Against
we've
Wote.
got a
Heal 3 comes in. And swings!
Wab.
5 hits!
Wab.
642 damage! Wab is the first person to complete the seed! Congratulations, Wab!
SRL time of
the dot done.
158.07. Hey, let's not put anything behind on down on Wote though. Behind in the chaos fight himself, with chaos popping out a nuclear.
As we have Wote going into the same screen at this point. He's going with the Bane strats. Bane is ineffective. White shirt comes out. He has 2 light warriors on the one need. Those are his 2 main physical damage. He's got him topped off. He's already seen the nuke. He's already seen the nuclear. What else can we see at this point? Any sort of clear could wipe out those light warriors at this point and wipe off this chance for Wote to clear the seed before 2 hours. Swings in. 4 hits, 4 damage. Cure 4. Clears up his ninja. He is playing the most defensive strats. Cure 4 clears up his knight. He is playing defensive as all heck. Another white shirt comes in. Another lit 3. Another 2 fight commands. Let's see what we get. 4 hits for 98 damage from the Masamune. Lit 3 for 58 damage. 45 damage from the katana wielding ninja. White shirt comes in. Nuke comes in. Clears off a lot of the party, except for the fighter. Hold it and pray. Hold it and pray. Hold it and pray. 4 hits for 4 damage. You need to get that knight up. He knows the nuclear is coming.
Chaos
Cure 4.
And chaos hits Cure 4.
Oh no. 5 hits. Cure 4 comes in. Oh goodness. I would definitely be power bunking at this point. Zap ineffective.
And Wote's just trying to Wote Wote downs him.
Okay, he's still trying to swing in. He's going in. He gets a big for I think over 1,400 damage at this point. Another hit
with an official
for 308. He gets his termination. Wote completes it.
Clears with an official SRL time of 2 hours 41 seconds. Our race was less than 3 minutes apart. GG to both our runners. What a great race. So, Kyu, your thoughts on this race?
Don't orphan chess.
GG to both runners.
GG, Wab. Ugh. I am so mad at my ability to count right now.
Why is that?
I miscounted how many key items were left. And so I went ahead and finished out Sky after I found the TNT, but before I found the key.
So fun fact then, we both did the same thing.
Oh, okay, I don't feel
You're
nearly
good.
as bad now.
No. Whoa, you and Wab are both good. You guys found the second thing. You didn't find the starter special. You found the ruby special. You find the ruby. That is always one of those where you're like, shoot.
Oh, yeah. No. In my case, I just literally forgot, like, that there were more NPC... Like, I thought I'd cleared out all the loose items that I needed to worry about when I found the TNT, and I feel really dumb right now. But knowing that Wab did the same thing makes me feel less dumb, or at least on the same level as dumb as he is. GG again, Wab.
Yeah, GG. No, I will agree to that completely. I got out of Sky. Then I went right to Earth, completed Earth after cleaning out all of the chests in there and went, I don't know what I did wrong. And had a solid panic moment where I didn't know what to do next, and then realized I skipped that upper section of Sky.
It's okay, guys. You know what you actually did, Wab, Wote? You gave all the ducklings the duckling pond an example of why, when you find the ruby, panic. Think that you have a third loose item.
Oh no, as soon as I saw that ruby, it was like, ah, crap. Like, well, actually, as soon as I saw the ribbon, it was like, ah, crap, I need to find a loose item. Like, that was in the back of my mind the whole time, because, as I'm sure y'all noticed, I like to skip a lot of chests. So as soon as I saw that ribbon from Blacksmith, it was just like, ah, crap baskets. Wab probably found the key item already. So as soon as I saw that ruby, it was like, oh, double crap baskets. I need to start going back and clearing dungeons. So Wab,
Did you go to Mermaids at all?
yeah, no. So basically I did Volcano, and then Earth, and then Sea. And I just full cleared C because, like, I was already checking Mermaids anyway. Basically, I knew I was looking for a key item, and Mermaids is dense, and I needed the experience anyway because I still didn't have the canoe.
Yeah, I tried to dive. I tried to dive the volcano a few times at the beginning, but got curb stomped by the peeds, with the unrunnable peeds with all sorts of nasty stuff.
I never saw a Pede the entire seed.
Oh, they had like, what was it, Blizzard and Death Touch or something?
They must have been early in the power cycle. Like, as soon as I started the seed, I realized that we just had an incredibly lousy RNG table, so I had to stop power cycling except by muscle memory after a while.
I did almost the same thing, because the encounter table was basically like, you had like a half dozen steps, and then you had like 6 encounters in a row, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah, I think the big run was like 7 to 10 deep. I just stopped caring after a while and just figured, if it comes up, it comes up. Otherwise, my big concern is just, keep moving. So what part did you wind up taking?
Party? I had two fighters, a red mage, and a white mage.
Yeah, I think I got to the Provoca location before it clicked in my head. I should have restarted and taken 2 red mages instead of a red mage and a white mage. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because my white mage wound up being really, really helpful for just having nothing better to do than heal.
Yeah. No, I was really, really considering, with the level 1 nuke there, re-rolling, maybe doing fighter, red mage, and I was a little jealous. I saw that you took a thief along, and I was like, ooh, that might have been good.
That thief is the only thing that kept me in this race, I'm pretty sure. Ugh, but yeah, I am. Okay, just real quick. Do you keep the IRC open when you're running as well?
I do.
So did your heart drop both when FCBot quit the chat and rejoined the chat?
Yes, it did. I was real scared because it
Well,
happened. It happened like at an hour in, and I was like, no way.
No, it was like an hour and a half in. So it was like just at that time where it's like if he made all the right moves, he could have finished this seed.
Oh, okay.
It's unlikely, but
yeah.
but yeah.
There's
Okay,
no way you
I'm
can
just
play
glad I
that
wasn't
scene
the.
that amount of time. Sorry, guys.
What was that?
I looked at the seed. Not in hacks or anything like that. I looked at the seed, and as you guys were making plays, I'm like, there is no way you could actually complete that seed in that amount of time. I don't care if you're even Edgeworth or Tristle or anybody else who I'd consider to be the top end runner on this game. There's no way you can complete that seed in that amount of time. But yeah, when the FC chat drops on you, you just have to say FC chat drops on me and just go for it.
Yeah, I hope we at least put on an entertaining show.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. You
It was fun.
definitely did. You guys opening chests made me pull my hair out.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I guess the lesson to me from now on is finish the floor I'm on. Even if I'm reasonably confident I have everything I need, just finish the floor I'm on just in case.
See, I
have
think
one
my
rule.
takeaway is take better notes.
I have one rule. If you're gonna orphan chest, orphan march. If you're gonna orphan anything else, no.
Or
Yeah,
first
see-
floor Earth.
Yeah, see, I had this other moment of just like, I think it was about 30 minutes in. Normally I have like a notepad, literal notepad in front of me where I take notes on the seed. And because I was eating dinner right before this, I cleared off my desk and then thought, oh, my desk is nice and clear. I guess I'm ready to go. Which I believe at one point y'all might have seen me like go to visit every town. That was because I forgot where Provoca was. And on rack. No, it was on rack where I just dipped like every town in the game because it was just like, I'm going to go do C now. C was, on rack was at Elfland? No. Crescent? No. Melman? No. It's Gaia.
Of course it is. Because that's every CI always roll. If it's going to be convenient for you, it's never going to be in any CI roll.
But, Wab, I also have, did you also enjoy the unrunnable ghosts?
I think I ran into 4 packs in a row on that one floor, on the second to last floor in water, and I was starting to get real scared because they were hitting pretty hard.
Oh, yeah, they're ghosts. But
They're
yeah,
ghosts,
no.
man.
But
They
yeah,
hit
no, like,
the hardest in the game. Out of any random enemy, they hit the hardest in the game. They hit 3 times. And, yeah. They're not fun to run into. And they're unrunnable. Do you have Hard
Yep.
4? Do you have Fade? Do you have Fire 2? Fire 3? You had level 1 nuke. I'm actually shocked from both of you. Why don't you re-roll Red Mages?
in my case, it was because I didn't think about it until it was a little too late to where I was like, it's like 10 minutes in. I can't afford to re-roll and go back, especially with this garbage encounter table. Because the sleep imps alone and the squint gur imps just made it like by the time I realized it, I had gotten out of like the initial part, like that initial area, and was just like, I'm not going through that again. It's double nukes are not worth it, and I didn't need double nukes in the end, so it worked out.
Truth. I forgot about the sleep imps, but now that you say that, the nightmares come flooding back.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It was like they were sleep imps, and the only thing you could do was run, which fortunately I was set up to do. I think it was like in Volcano, I cycled my thief to the front and then never put my thief in the back until the end of the game. Like, she was far too valuable.
Completely fair.
So, at what point when you found the key, Wab, were you thinking I'm way behind here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I threw away probably 2 or 3 minutes there, particularly because I could have just sprinted through Earth, which is always the hope, you know. And I spent all that time checking just about every chest in Earth except for the first floor. So I was.
could. It hurts me way more, Wab, because I could have had that key at like an hour 30. Like.
Probably about the same time I was skipping it.
Yeah, like but yeah, like it. Okay, so I guess the question from me is, about what point in Temple of Fiends did you look over at the chat and go, I might be able to win this still? Because I think for me it was after that paper Kraken 2, when it was just like, he hasn't done yet. He's either dead ahead of me or somehow is behind me.
Well, see, my thought process going into it was like, oh god, I'm gonna get to chaos, and it's gonna be a chaos and chaos sort of. Whoever can beat chaos faster. I had that thought going probably after I got through Carrie and got to Kraken. I was just like, I feel like we're both probably in Temple of Fiends Revisited right now. We're both kind of on the edge. I just have to go for it.
Yeah, like, it was one of those things where, like, the only way I could conceive of being ahead is if, like, you had saved air for last, had checked every chest along the way, and also had tripped over blizzard sharks far too many times looking for the floater.
Well, the floater was Marsh Cave, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, floater was
yes.
Marsh.
Yeah, because I didn't check Marsh until after I checked the Melman spot.
Same.
Anywho, I guess, do y'all have any other questions for us? Because I would like to go, like, weep. I couldn't have had this if I'd remembered the key!
Yeah, same. I feel like I'm still like clenching my leg muscles right now. Like I need to like stand up and walk around.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, gentlemen, good game, both of you. It was a lot of fun to commentate on this.
I do have a honest question, Wab.
Yep.
How many shoutouts would you like to give as your final shout?
Any shout-outs I'd like to give?
Yep.
I guess shout out to all the fans out there watching us. I think it's a lot of fun to do these races, and it's even more fun to do them for an audience. So I appreciate everyone who stuck around and watched us duke it out. Thank you to the commentators. You guys did, I'm sure, an awesome job. We really appreciate you putting in the time there. And whoever tackled the tracking tonight, thanks a lot.
And to Wote, unfortunately, you're going to be in the, hopefully the same bracket as I am next week with the 1 and 2.
Oh, you mean I get to get revenge on you, possibly? I'm so in for that.
As
I'm coming for you,
this race.
Q.
Anything you want to say to the shoutouts?
Yeah, just shout out to my girls, Cinchilla and Twill. Love y'all both. And thanks for supporting me, y'all.
Rossetti just wants to give again a shout out to anybody on the Speed Gaming Network. If you're watching the Speed Gaming Networks, please stay tuned on SG1. There's going to be a link to the past randomizer tournament, the A+A qualifier.
That's
gonna be
Zelda
happening
1.
in about an hour or so for the multi-carrot category for the Zelda 1 randomizer. So please pay attention to that. And DM Stewart, any shout outs for you?
If you enjoyed this race, and I really hope you did because it was a great race, give these two runners a follow. They certainly deserve it. Give Mr. Versetti a follow. Mr. Versetti's a great guy. He's a great tracker. And of course, my co-commentator, Kiyu Ketsuki.
Don't follow me. I'm a drunk. Let's be honest on this one. I already screwed up. That's Zelda 1, not LTTP. My bad. That's the Zelda 1, qualifiers on that qualifiers. So we do have 3 races for the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer community. If you're interested at all, please check the link that it's Osiris has already linked for me, because Kiyu Katsuki has already screwed up tonight. Thank you very much. And may the light of the 4 orbs guide us all. Thank you.